What's up, gamers, and today I want to give you the best build for Rappa, or at least the 5 people, including myself, that decided to actually pull her and build her. But first, I want to give you a quick kit breakdown just to talk about how she actually works, so you get a better understanding of how we're building her, why we're building her, the way we're building her, and everything like that. Timestamps will be in the video if you want to use those, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want cool content like HSR, ZZZ, and maybe some sus stuff in between. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get into it now. First of all, her skill move, it just hits all enemies. It's just really there to build up your energy to help get your ultimate off, because that's where the main bread and butter of her kit's at, is the ultimate move, her talent move, her enhanced basic attack. That's where you're getting the majority of your break damage from, okay? So skill move, okay, but ultimate move, really good. This puts you in your seal form state, which is basically when you're in the first person mode doing the attacks and stuff. This also is going to be giving you an immediate turn, and this will also be increasing your break effect as well. But like I said, the main bread and butter of her kit is the talent and also the enhanced basic attack, which is, this is the seal form state, is the enhanced basic attacks. And what that enhanced basic attack is, guys, is she's going to be hitting 3 times altogether. 2 of those attacks are blast attacks, so it's one main enemy and then hits adjacent target. The final attack is going to be a complete AoE attack. Now, what's special about these moves is it actually will bypass weakness if the enemy is not imaginary weak. So what this essentially means is this kind of works like Acheron, right? When Acheron uses her ult and she slice, and you basically start wearing down the toughness of every single enemy, she does the same thing here, but it'll be 50% less than if you were to normally attack an imaginary weak enemy. What her talent's going to be doing, guys, I know you saw her cool little rhyme right here, so I went ahead and deciphered her rap for you guys. I broke down the lyrics like genius, okay? And what this is essentially going to be doing is every single time you break an enemy, you're getting 1 stack. And each of these charge stacks that you're getting, guys, is going to be increasing your weakness break damage. Can't talk about the exact number right now, but no, you can get this up to an absolute fuck ton. Not only this, guys, it'll also be giving you for completely free a break damage bonus just to the 3rd hit of her move. This means whenever she does her 3rd hit, which attacks every single enemy, that'll be getting a 60% increase to break damage, which would then of course correlate to super break damage. That means she just gets a lot more super break damage overall, because she's increasing the break damage that she's doing by so much. So when the enemies are weakness broken, she does a lot of weakness break damage. The only problem that I see with her kit right now is how little she actually damages the toughness, so you might need to run someone else on the team to really help break those weaknesses down, because as you can see from the live stream, guys, she doesn't really do that much like weakness break damage on the enemy itself from her like attacks, like blast attacks and AoE attack even, right? You're really mainly hitting that main target for a lot of your weakness that you're doing, and then outside of that, it's just like very like low ticks of like break damage. So someone like Ruan Mei is going to be almost a must on this team, just for the increased weakness break efficiency that she's going to be giving to the team. That is going to help Rappa out tremendously. And then of course you have Harmony MC to help batter down those enemy shields as well. At E, I don't know what Eidolon it's at, but you can get increased weakness break efficiency on the first attack. Rappa seems really good for pure fiction, guys. She seems like a built unit for pure fiction because of how this talent works, and you can get 10 stacks. She is just kind of built that way for pure fiction, right? I think this will be the pure fiction breaker. Do I think she'll be good in other game modes? Yes. Do I think she'll be as good in Apocalyptic Shadow? Probably not as good as an Apocalyptic Shadow as someone like a Boot Hill, right? So this is how I see it in my mind, right? Like Firefly, I think she's better for Apocalyptic Shadow, so let's put a bigger arrow there for that. And I think she's alright for pure fiction, right? So let's put a smaller arrow there. For Rappa, I think she is really good for pure fiction. I think she won't be as good for Memory of Chaos, but she can still work for Memory of Chaos, right? And obviously I don't think she would work that well in Apocalyptic Shadow. That's just my personal opinion on that. Same thing goes for Boot Hill, right, guys? I think he works super well for Apocalyptic Shadow, and he has less of an impact on Memory of Chaos, and then he has a less of an impact the more you make your way towards pure fiction. Same for Rappa, you have less of an impact the more you make your way towards Apocalyptic Shadow related content. So this is kind of how I see it right now. I think Firefly is the most balanced of our break DPS right now, but that's just my kind of forethought on that. I'll have a video out in a couple days from now talking about why you should or shouldn't summon for, if you're watching this video before Rappa comes out. So anyways, gamers, let's go ahead and wrap our way into the Lightcone section here. Was that cringe? If it was, go ahead and hit the subscribe button now, because that's about as much cringe as I felt when watching the live stream hearing her rap. So let's go ahead and stop cringing out and talk about the Lightcones now. So on the Lightcones, guys, obviously her best in slot option is going to be her signature Lightcone. Don't think I can throw up here what it does yet, because they haven't released it yet. If I can't throw it up, I'll throw it up on screen now, but just know it is going to be her best in slot Lightcone. Her second best in slot Lightcone, which is a free-to-play Lightcone up to a certain point, is called Eternal Calculus. Now, why I say up until a certain point is because I think this Lightcone will help you out tremendously until you hit the 3200 attack. If you can get the 3200 attack without this Lightcone, then don't run this Lightcone. I don't think it'll really help you out that much. Obviously, the attack that this Lightcone gives you will help out with the break effect overall, right? But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you really don't need this Lightcone. The main point of running this Lightcone, really, guys, is for the increased speed you would be getting, and then also getting that attack up to 3200, so we can max out that break damage vulnerability debuff that we're putting on the enemies. Now, unfortunately, the only other Lightcone that I can really recommend here for Rappa that will work on her is going to be a gacha Lightcone. It's a 4-star gacha Lightcone called After the Charmony Fall. Now, the reason you would use this, guys, is because first of all, it'll be increasing your break effect by a good amount, and then after using your ultimate move, it'll be giving her a speed increase as well. These are two of the main stats that she's going to be needing. We'll talk more about stats when we talk about the relics in a second here, but this is going to be the third best in slot or second best in slot Lightcone if you're able to get that 3200 attack stat. If you can't get this Lightcone, then I think really the only option you have here is Eternal Calculus, because unfortunately we don't have any other Erudition Lightcones that really buff up break damage that much. So yeah, these are the options you have to choose between. Kind of few and far between, but hopefully they add more options in the future. But anyways, that's really all I have to say about Lightcones. Let's go ahead now. This is gonna be a very short section talking and maybe even ranting about teams here, guys. So teams overall, right? There's really only one, maybe two teams you can run Rappa on. Either a full sim break team, that's with Harmony MC, Ruan Mei, Rappa, and then you're sustaining either Gallagher, Lingshaw, whatever one you want to use there. More free play option there, obviously Gallagher, right? But there could maybe be a second option, which is using Harmony MC for the increased super break damage, and then running dual DPS in terms of like the break units you have there, right? Obviously, without Ruan Mei, you're going to have a pretty steep damage drop off because you're not getting the increased break effect she's giving, and you're not getting the increased weakness break efficiency, and then also you're not getting the res pin as well, which is all things that correlate into how much damage these characters are going to do, right? But maybe, just maybe, with her not using any skill points whenever she's in her Ningu state, or whenever she's in her enhanced basic attack state, you could maybe, possibly, potentially run a Firefly on the team as well, and then maybe you'd be able to equip Forge in that situation and give her increased break effect to help out with the damage aspect on the team. So maybe a dual DPS comp could be viable here with Harmony MC. It's like the main problem with break teams right now is we don't have enough support. Like, if you already have Firefly, right, or if you already have Boot Hill, you kind of have to pick your poison of what you're going to use there. So maybe if you're in one game mode, you put in Rappa there, right, instead of bringing in Firefly. Like, you kind of have to pick and choose your battles and fights you're going to use with break teams, just because of the lack of support we currently have in the game right now for them. We really need more support units. Hopefully, I don't know how to say her name, 5-star Ting Yoon. Hopefully, she'll help that, surely, right? Anyways, that's really all I have to say about teams and my little rant on teams. Now, the moment you've probably been waiting for. Let's go ahead and tell you to subscribe to the channel. Yep, I scammed you again. If you didn't get scammed with the Lightcone section, you definitely got scammed right here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, or I will make Rappa rap in your ear.
Check it. Dazzling tags, hidden blades. That's just a tease for a ninja like me. Taking evil is a breeze. Ain't afraid of no enemy. Bringing the heat. Time to show them real skills. It can't be beat.
I stopped that for your sanity, okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk about her best in-slot relics now, and then all the stats you're going to be wanting to hit as well. So her best in-slot 4-piece, hands down, is the 4-piece cavalry, guys. It gives you break effect for a 2-piece set, and then that 4-piece is just super special because it'll allow you to ignore up to 25% defense if your break effect's over 250% and you're doing super break damage, which she already has built into her kit, so you can get this up at all times, even if you didn't have Harmony MC on the team for whatever reason. So this is the best option you can run on her. This is hands down, I think, miles above what all of the other sets you could run on her are. Now, obviously, if you don't have this set and you have better stats with other sets, run those sets, right? Another set you could run would be just 2-piece break, and that just means either 2-piece cavalry, 2-piece of the shooting meteor, 2-piece of the watchmaker. Basically, all these sets give you 16% increased break effect, so you can run 2-piece of these. It's 32% free break effect there. And if you have better stats, maybe it turns out being better, but it's hard to really pass up on 25% defense shred, which is a separate multiplier, which plays into that super break super nicely. See what I did there? Anyways, yeah, this is by far, hands down, the best set. Please make sure you're farming this setup right now. It's good right now if you want to run a 2-piece, and that can work, but overall, you want this set on your Rappa. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the planar sets, because it's kind of cringe. I have a little bit of a rant of the planar sets, right? Now, the technical best in-slot planar set would be the new Forge set, right? But they kind of, like, made this set for Firefly, because you only get the increased break effect, if you're facing a fire weak enemy. Like, come on. Like, this set is literally going to be useless on every other break character. This is going to be practically useless for Boot Hill, practically useless for her as well, because you have to have a fire weakness on the enemy to actually use this. The speed is super nice here. Rappa wants speed. This would be so good, but why? Why only fire effect on the enemy? They just literally kerfuckled you because they said, you know what? We want to make this set for fucking Firefly. Let's just give it to her, right? Yeah, so I mean, that's technically the best in slot set if you're facing a fire weak enemy. The best overall stuff that you can run for her, guys, is going to be banditry, because this doesn't rely on having different weaknesses for the enemy. Whoop-de-doo. Imagine not having restrictions like having enemy fire weak to get a certain stat, right? Anyways, banditry is going to be the best overall, because after you hit 145 speed and above, you're getting a 36 increase to your break effect, which is very, very similar to what the other set's able to give you. It's 4% under it actually, and it doesn't give you speed, but this is going to be the best set that you can possibly run on her right now if you're not facing a fire weak enemy. Now, with the sets out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about those stats now, because the stats are super important, starting off with the main stats first. On the boots, you want to run speed. On the chest, you want to run attack percentage. On the rope, you want to run break effect, and on the orb, you want to run attack percentage. Guys, don't run damage percentage on the orb. Damage percentage literally does nothing for break effect characters, nor does crit rate, nor does crit damage. They are not stats that you need to be focusing on. Guys, focus on getting attacked for her, because she definitely needs it. She needs 3,200 to keep that in mind. That's what we're going to talk about now. The substats and recommended stats you're going to be wanting to aim for. Starting off at number one most important, break effect. Yippee! She's a break character, you want break effect, and you at least want 250 break effect. Now, this break effect doesn't all have to be on her, right? Obviously, you're running a team with Harmony MC. If you have them E4, then you get break effect for free from that, and then you're getting free break effect if you're running a Ruame as well. So this number can be lower if you have these characters on the team. If you don't run a Ruame, that would definitely make sure you're getting a lot closer to that 250 margin. So you're getting that maximum defense shred from your 4-piece forge set. Now, the second best set you need to be aiming for is speed, at least 145. Mainly if you're running banditry, you need 145 to get the increased break effect from this set. So 145 is the minimum here. And then finally, guys, is going to be attack. We mentioned this before, you want 3,200 attack to make her use the vulnerability debuff from her bonus effect. So these are the stats you're going to be wanting to aim for here on your Rappa. Now, if you're one of the 5 people, including myself, that's going to be building Rappa and pulling for Rappa, let me know in the comment section down below, because I would love to know the Rappa lovers out there in the world, right? Because me personally, I think she's one of my favorite characters in the game, just from like design wise. I love the way that her animations and stuff look. Now, the kit overall is something to be desired, but I'm very much a man of waifu over meta, so yeah, I love the way she looks, and I cannot wait to see what she's able to do. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Later. Bye bye.